Hey, I'm Jared Danford. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the lower body, more specifically how we tend to slide into the golf ball. We're going to talk about what causes it, how to fix it, and kind of the issues that come along when you are kind of sliding into the golf ball. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, like, or leave us a comment about a video that you might like to see in the future. And we'll get going on how to fix that slide and what usually is the main factor that's causing us to do that. So we all know what a slide is in the golf swing. Slide is usually the hips are way in front of basically your ankle, all right, and your hip joint is basically way out in front of everything where it should be. Everything should be at impact, basically stacked over one another. Ankle over hip, hip in line with your shoulder. Okay, so a lot of us get sliding. So there's a few factors that can cause that. One is could just be a stability issue that you're dealing with, but most commonly it is what your right leg is doing. Okay, so I see a lot of players when they're coming down into the golf ball, they've got so far maybe on their backside that they have to work twice as hard to get forward, and so they get into that slide. All right, one good key factor that you see when somebody slides is you're going to see a lot of axis tilt. Okay, and when you have too much axis tilt, the bottom of your swing becomes behind you. So if you're somebody who chunks it a lot, all right, and if you don't know exactly what your swing looks like, it could be because you slide. Another issue that comes with somebody who slides and has so much axis tilt is they tend to release it early. Okay, so if you time it well and you release it early and you still hit the ball without hitting it fat, and you find that you're hitting just really high fluffy shots that don't go anywhere, it could be the fact that you slide so your hands have to release so you can have some sort of good decent contact when you hit the golf ball. Okay, so when it comes to the slide, one reason could be just we have too much weight on our backside, so we have to work twice as hard to get onto our front side. And why we're working so hard is we are working so hard and pushing off of that right leg. Okay, and everybody does this a little differently. Some people will feel like they push off their right leg. It's not a bad thing. That's nothing wrong with that. It's just if it's over excessive, all right, some people feel like they pull with their left side. So everybody's going to have a different feel when it comes to that. All right, what I prefer is I think if you keep your head pretty still and you move your pressure pretty well, you don't have to really jump off of that right leg. Because when I see somebody really slide or move hard with their lower body, I see the knees kind of tuck in like this. So you see the front knee kind of has a little weird bend going on, the back knee does also. And so they're way back here and they're never going to use the ground to create any force. The bottom of their impact's going to be all over the place. So something that I want you to feel like, and I'll attach a video at the end of this of a student that I've worked with. He's a pretty good baseball player and he really struggles with diving his legs like that into the golf ball. And so the feeling that really works well for him, and it's worked well for a lot of players, I want them to feel like their back leg is there's nothing going on. It almost feels like it's dead, or it's just hanging on for the fact that it's attached to your body. So what he does is when he takes his swings, he just feels like his back leg is basically completely passive, and what happens, it actually works really naturally. Okay, so he doesn't have to feel like it's dead, he doesn't have to feel like he keeps his foot on the ground, anything crazy, anything strange like that. He just feels like his back leg is passive, so when he swings, he comes down into it, his front leg doesn't get this big bend because he's not pushing off very hard anymore, so he starts to post up better, back leg starts to actually internally rotate like it should, and so it becomes more stable over the golf ball. So that's what I want you to feel like. If you're somebody who really slides, right, it's not going to be a power loss. It should help you with consistency. All right, just feel like that back leg, your rear leg, is just really pretty passive when it comes to the downswing. Okay, and then you can start off with a tee. You can build it up. If you're really good at making changes quickly, all right, this will definitely help your ball striking. It's going to help you off the tee a lot, because you're not going to have excess axis tilt, which usually happens off the tee box when our legs are really driving into it. All right, so just feel like that lower body's pretty passive, back leg's pretty passive, and just feel like you're turning nice and well. And that's a simple way that you can fix your slide. It's a good feeling just to help you not to be so active with your lower body in your golf swing. So here we have the differences between overactive lower body
and then a passive lower body. So on the left-hand side, you'll notice as Shay takes it back, there's quite a bit of lower body movement with his knees, but that's not what I'm most worried about. Most worried about is just the impact portion, because you'll see, and he moves way over to the right, or to his left, and then as he comes down, you can see how his back leg really drives, his front leg really drives, and how he really suffers from impact. And you can see the increase and axis tilt in the bottom of the point of impact is going to be all over the place. Right hand side is when we try to get his legs to be much more passive, so you can see in the backswing, his leg's much more stable, looks like he's posting up on his back leg. And then as he swings down, you can already tell there's going to be a difference. His knees are kind of staying wide, his back leg is staying passive, hasn't moved near as much. You can see his front leg's already starting to post up better than it did even after he had made impact. And then at impact, you can see the back leg's really passive. The heel looks like it's actually on the ground a little bit, just because he's really concentrating on feeling like his back leg is just hanging on. It's not doing anything. It's not pushing. It's not doing a whole lot. And then he finished all the way through.